Welcome to this explainer. You know that feeling when the weight of your entire future is just kind of crushing you before you've even poured your morning coffee? Well, today we're doing a deep dive into a framework designed to fix exactly that. We're exploring Chapter 5 of Ryuho Okawa's book, The Origin of Love, and unpacking a really profound concept that challenges how we view our existence. We're talking about the philosophy of treating every single day as an entire lifetime.
Just to ground us, here's a look at the cover of our source material. In this explainer, we're going to impartially analyze the specific frameworks this text lays out for managing modern anxiety and finding purpose in our daily routines. The book as a whole delves into what it calls the aesthetics of gentleness and the origins of love. But for our purposes right now, we are zooming in exclusively on its incredibly practical, systematic approach to personal daily management and spiritual hygiene.
Okay, here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with the season of harvest, then look at reaping your daily harvest. Third is one day, one life. Fourth is the division of suffering, and finally, embracing a new life.
So, jumping right into Section 1, the season of harvest, thoughts in early autumn.
The source text uses the transition into early autumn as this really powerful metaphor. Think about it. Just as a farmer assesses their fields after a long, vibrant summer, the text suggests we have to step back and ask ourselves, what have we truly cultivated? A meaningful life doesn't just, spontaneously happen to us. It requires a deliberate assessment of our soul's development. It challenges us to actively measure this harvest rather than just drifting aimlessly through life.
Moving on to Section 2, Reaping Your Daily Harvest, the 3 Conditions.
The text actually breaks this harvest down into 3 very clear conditions. First up is the continuous, active pursuit of a right mind. It's an ongoing internal investigation. Second is learning divine truth without personal bias. That basically means absorbing knowledge with a totally open approach, rather than twisting things to fit whatever pre-existing opinions we might hold. And finally, condition 3 is practice. This means applying these truths and actively contributing to society through missionary work or by sharing them with others. The author argues that it's only by reaching this stage of usefulness that you can claim a true harvest.
Which brings us to Section 3, one day, one life, a paradigm shift.
Now, this is a massive paradigm shift. The text is asking us to take the vast, overwhelming span of an entire human life and compress our focus down to a single 24-hour cycle. To build this foundation, the source actually traces the philosophy back through history. It points to biblical teachings from Jesus Christ, as well as the work of Japanese Christian thinker Uchimura Kanzo. The universal message here? The troubles of today are enough for today. Seriously, don't borrow tomorrow's anxiety.
I mean, if you ask yourself, how can I make my entire lifetime a brilliant success? The sheer scale of that mountain is completely paralyzing, right? It's simply too big. But if you shrink the timeline and instead ask, how can I shine and do my absolute best for just today? Suddenly, the task is actually manageable. A lifetime, as the text notes, is simply the accumulation of these single, well-lived days.
To actually put this into practice, the author introduces a pretty radical evening routine. They say we should treat sleep as a form of death. Now, I know that sounds intense, but the goal is absolute peace. Every single night you practice daily reflection, you settle your mental accounts, and you effectively die to your regrets. By doing this, you ensure that when you wake up the next morning, you are literally reborn, starting out with a completely clean slate.
Next up, Section 4, The Division of Suffering, Cutting Off Needless Anxiety.
80%. Yeah, the text states that a staggering 80% of human worries are entirely needless. They're usually either fabricated projections about a future that hasn't even happened yet, worrying about what might go wrong 1, 3, or 10 years down the line, or they are stubborn, unchangeable attachments to past mistakes. When it comes down to it, only a tiny fraction of our worry is actually rooted in the present moment.
So, the solution offered here is the division of suffering. By adopting this one day, one life mindset, you are artificially severing the ties to yesterday's baggage and tomorrow's fears. You're isolating your challenges strictly to the 24 hours you are currently living in, effectively stopping that snowballing accumulation of anxiety. The author uses this fantastic visual metaphor to explain why this is absolutely critical. Imagine you live in a really snowy climate. If you go up to your roof and shovel just a little bit of snow every single day, it's an easy, totally manageable task. But if you ignore it and let that snow accumulate for weeks or months, the compounding weight of it will eventually crush the roof and destroy the entire house. Human anxiety works the exact same way. You have to clear away your problems and negative emotions daily before their accumulated weight destroys your peace of mind.
Finally, Section 5, Embracing a New Life, the True Enemy.
The text issues a pretty stark warning here. The most terrifying threats to a fulfilling life aren't always dramatic, external disasters. Far from it. They're actually the slow suffocations we all deal with. Daily boredom, creeping laziness, and the mundane repetition of routine without any fresh ingenuity. It's kind of like being slowly strangled by a silken cord. You don't even realize you're suffocating until it's too late.
But here is the super empowering flip side. If yesterday ended in death when you went to sleep, then this morning isn't just a continuation of some boring routine. It is an opportunity for a literal new life. The text is urging us to wake up every single day and aggressively combat that laziness. We have to live a fresh life with new ingenuity and new discoveries every day. Don't just let the day happen to you. Ask yourself, what am I going to invent today? What completely new approach will I take?
And that brings us to the ultimate takeaway of the one day, one life philosophy. If you truly clear your slate tonight, if you divide your suffering and absolutely refuse to carry today's snow into tomorrow, you get to be reborn. So, I'm going to leave you with this question drawn straight from the heart of the text. When you wake up and step into your new life tomorrow morning, what fresh ingenuity will you bring, and what will you discover? Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and I really hope this framework offers you a brand new way to look at your day.